Hey, welcome to Scandinavian Alps Coffee Roasters. My name is Adrian, head founder roaster. Ulle Christian Bøhn, Norwegian Brewers Champion of 2019? 20, sorry. We just welcome you back for another episode on
grinding.
grinders.
Today we are going to talk about grinders, and you have an interesting grinder here, Adrian.
Yeah, so what we thought we would do is three kind of old school, not new school. Well, I guess it's new schoolish and new school.
New school.
Yeah. So yeah, what the first one? Anything you want to say about this?
I think if you have been at the grandma's old house, you have probably seen one of this because everyone has this in Norway. I think also in Sweden and maybe especially in Scandinavia, I've seen a lot of these old grinders.
It's beautiful though.
We read a little bit about on Wikipedia before we started, and we found that the first hand grinder was actually made in 1799.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. By an American blacksmith.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and patented
in 1818.
Yeah.
So it's been many years with hand grinding.
So a bit of history.
And we still do in coffee.
Yeah.
But I think it is a difference between the grinder from, I'm not sure how old this grinder is, but I'll probably see that.
40s maybe? I'm not sure. But
why is it important to have a good grinder?
Good question, yeah. Well, I think we've kind of touched on it, but we talked about, like grind size, grind particle, distribution, and evenness. So when the water's coming down your bed of coffee, it all comes down even. So you're extracting all the coffee particles at the same rate, right? Mm. Yeah. And then if you have a better grinder, you're going to get more evenness, yeah. So I guess the Comandante, what's this, the Barracuda?
This is the C60 Barracuda from Comandante. So we are going to grind and see the difference between this old grinder and the new fancy hand grinder.
Yeah. And then the next one we have is the Hario. Oh, no, sorry, not the Hario. It's a porlex. It's Japanese made. Quite a durable, small one. Weighs almost
very
nothing.
Expensive?
Not very expensive, maybe 100 euros. And then you can adjust the conical burrs. So we'll test that one out. And then you want to talk about the...
Yeah, the Comandante C60 that was released last year. Still working on getting the production up. It's made of like 1 kilo of steel. It's like a heavy piece of...
Yeah, it's super heavy. Yeah, it's like you could work out with this.
Good.
German made, right?
German made.
Yeah.
German engineer called Bernd Braune.
Yeah.
He started Comandante in 2013.
Yeah.
And has been developing grinders since then. This is the new product.
And you're an ambassador for them too, right?
Yeah, I work with him. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Nice. Anything else we missed out on particles?
I'm just really excited to see the difference between this grandma's old grinder with the
vintage.
Yeah, vintage old grinder.
Can it beat the Comandante? That's the question. If it does, this is not...
That's interesting to see. We're going to cup the same coffee. What coffee are we cupping?
It's a lovely Wash Rwandan that came in last month from a co-op. So yeah, super tasty, juicy, notes of toffee, brown sugar. Yeah, it's just like an all-round drinking coffee. Maybe a little bit of citrus spark in the finish.
Have you ever tried brewing with this grinder?
I think we have tried. Yeah, because we wanted it comes out of this little drawer. I don't know if you guys can see. And we do have these in Canada too. In England I've seen. But yeah, we should, I can't remember if we drank it, but yeah, kind of cool. Anything else? What about what's coming up on the pipeline? In coffee.
We are super excited to go to World of Coffee in Copenhagen in 2 weeks.
I'm super stoked.
Yeah, for your first time.
First time, yeah.
It's like the coffee of Disneyland of coffee.
Yeah, the Willy Wonka of coffee,
definitely.
So in Copenhagen, which is one of my favorite cities.
Do you have any expectation to what producers you want to visit, or?
I think I just want to soak it in. You know, you always meet. I mean, the people in coffee are kind of what made me want to start in coffee. So super interesting people. Everyone's kind of passionate about what specifics they're in coffee. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to meeting some nice people, drinking some good coffee. You're going to be there, right? With
I'm going to be there.
Hacienda La Esmeralda.
Hacienda La Esmeralda.
Didn't say that right.
Coffee producer from Panama.
Yeah.
Famous for finding the Panama Geisha back in 2004.
Which is, very special for those people. Yeah, very expensive. How much? What are we talking? How much per kilo?
A lot, depending on the coffee.
Yeah.
It could be 2, 3, 4,000 per kilo.
Per kilo.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think they have won the highest lot price for on auction. Yeah. So that's pretty special. Yeah. And then we're also Scandinavians. We're going to be featured roaster with Tone. Tone is a Swiss brewer.
Yeah.
So they're going to be there, and we're going to be one of their featured roasters. So we're going to be brewing. What are we brewing? We're going to be brewing Guatemala, washed Guatemala, and maybe this Rwandan, and maybe the anaerobic Brazil. So that'll be fun too. Yeah.
And for the people watching that don't know what World of Coffee is, what would you say it is?
I think it's just the biggest kind of annual event where all the coffee professionals in the industry kind of meet together, and it's rotational, so it changes city to city every year. So we thought it's in Copenhagen. It's not too far. It's only an hour on a plane. So we were like, okay, let's just go. Even though the Norwegian, Danish crown is quite expensive right now, we were like, let's just go. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Excited for that. But first, let us try the grinders.
Yeah.
The Barracuda is super, super fast. I'm really excited to see how long time you will use on this old vintage grinder.
So we're just doing a cupping, so 10 grams in.
10 grams in.
Okay, you ready?
Ready?
I have to close it up.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Go.
Ready?
Oh my God. Great for the mic. Not too bad. Okay, I'm done. So this must be pretty coarse. I don't know, let's see. Okay, and then you just pull out of this little drawer. Yeah, it beat it.
Yeah, beat the Barracuda.
Okay, let's check out the grind size though.
Wow. It actually looks quite even.
It's hard to get in the drawer to the cup. Yeah, but I think maybe it's just dry. It's grinding a little coarser, so maybe that's why it's quicker. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I was actually expecting the grind size to be really uneven in this old grinder.
It's 2 tickets to the gun show here, that's what I mean. Okay, and then I'll do the porlex. So the porlex we actually carry here for all the hikers. So it makes a great kind of backpack travel.
This is a little bit too heavy to go with to go for the
so it's tiny.
hiking.
And then it's more just it's a little bit of arm work, but it's not too noisy either, I've realized, compared to that beast of a vintage.
Probably a little bit slower. I was surprised how fast it was.
Yeah, I think I'm going a little bit finer from what you guys.
But here you only have one grind setting, so you cannot change as you can on the modern ones.
Yeah, but speak to the grind size, because the guys at home can't see that, but there's a big difference.
It's a big difference, but I will say that this is not very uneven. I was surprised that it was so even. Let's see how it will be when we cup it.
The funny thing is, like, if you look inside this, you guys can't see on the camera, but it is a conical burr, so it is the same technology as these two also. So it's funny how something made in 100 years ago is still kind of relevant today. So then that's it, and then it just pops out here. Have a little smell because that's quite nice. Yeah, have a look. Okay, nice. Do you want to grab the water? I'll just put. All right, we don't have to scale it, do we? I'll set a timer though. So it's the same cupping recipe. We do 10 grams of coffee. With our QC here, we'll do 10 grams of coffee to 160 water. And then you want to steep them or brew them for 4 minutes. And then there's a kind of layered crust on the top. And then after 4 minutes, we'll break that. Coffee grinds go to the bottom, stops most of the extraction. Clean them up, and then we'll wait a couple minutes so we don't burn our tongues, and then we taste them. So
we have the same coffee, 3 very different grinders, hand grinders. I will ask Bernd when we get to World of Coffee if he got the inspiration from the old grinders the grandma had on the kitchen.
We were just talking though, wouldn't it be fun to have this kind of looking vintage grinder with maybe the Comandante tech?
You should go and talk with Bernd and say that he should make one.
Yeah, it'd be quite cool. Yeah. I'm just had a little thing upcoming for the summer we're trying to promote local artists. So we have the Alps Artist Edition. So the first one is actually a friend lives in town. He's from Switzerland, Benjamin, and he does some really cool art.
Yeah.
So we thought we would support his artwork with some of his fun. You take that one.
Maybe
yeah.
we should start a competition with local artists or artists in global. We can just ask people to send in their best artwork.
Yeah.
And we can make a special can with them.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
So he did recently these meteorites, which is quite fun in these kind of fun colors. So we have the meteorite blend, and then I think this is one of his older pieces. Is animal. I think it's called the Animal Conflict. So we've got that, and that's going to be a fruitier coffee. And then on the underneath, we've got his profile with his website. So it's kind of cool to promote his artwork in town and in the world.
And this is also looking very good. And this,
Yeah.
of course, looks good on the sheath, but this will also look good on the sheath.
Yeah, it's quite fun, and that's what we're all about here. So that's kind of coming soon to the web shop, so you can take a look at that, or you can buy it here at the roastery. So, or he might have some on his website too. So yeah, what time are we at? 2 minutes.
2 minutes. You have to wait a little bit. We're cupping it at 4 minutes. Can you explain a little bit to the people watching about how we cup coffee?
So like I kind of went over those basics of the recipe, and then after a couple minutes, we'll taste the coffee, and then things we're looking for taste is the sweetness, or intrinsic sweetness, the body, like the texture of the coffee. What else? We're looking for nuance, maybe some characteristics of where the farm or terroir, or the varietal, or the altitude, and then looking for balance. I always look for that. So, acidity too. So, kind of looking that everything's kind of works together in a nice uniform way.
You're cupping all the coffees you roast, right?
We try. Right now we roast, and then the next week we'll cup them, and then try and. Because we're out here in the mountains, so things like the green coffees, it's live. It's a live product, so it's always changing. So you kind of have to keep an eye on, especially when we're coming from winter now, spring into summer, where the temperature changes. So the coffees can change pretty quick.
But cupping is also something you can do at home. It's not necessarily only for roasters. If you have coffee, it's a nice way to train your palate, and also a nice way to train how the coffee reacts. To just see how the coffee is, because when you cup a coffee, that's coffee on its clearest form, I would say. If you brew it, you can also brew it differently. You can use different filters, different waters, but if you cup it, that's the same way.
Yeah, totally. And then it's also like if you're cupping, you're also focused on tasting, right? And not drinking the coffee, which most people are at home. So it's a good way to like really focus on sensory skills of like, what am I actually tasting on my tongue? So you can break that one there if you want. So we do like 3 passes through it, or if you do it consistently, doesn't really matter. And then, whenever you pour the next one.
See, that's this grind size. This is a little bit coarser. This is the porlex, and this is all grinder.
Yeah, so that one kind of already. There wasn't much crust on the vintage grinder.
This will be super exciting to see. You
And
want
then
to
we
take
can
the foam off?
You can do those ones. So then I don't know if you guys can see at home. There's a bit of like, maybe you want to call it crema or some the kind of.
What's the reason we are taking that away?
Just because it's bitter and it just doesn't taste very nice. Kind of what you get when you're making a soup or some sort of sauce. You kind of get that foamy top. So we'll take that away. Yeah, there's almost like chunks.
This will be interesting. The old Grandma's grinder compared to a C60 Barracuda, the newest hand grinders out there.
When did that come out? Last year?
I come out last year. Still working to, like we talked about earlier. Still working about getting the production up.
There's actually some like big chunks of like boulders.
Really big.
from the vintage, from Grandma's grinder. But what grandmas or my grandmas were, always the wise ones in the family, So maybe they were onto something with it.
That was also actually a thing earlier before we got the grinded coffee in supermarkets. Everyone grinded their own coffee.
Totally, yeah. That was, and I remember that in Canada at the shop, you'd go down the aisle and there'd be a grinder there, and then you'd put the beans into the grinder, and my parents would like grind it super fresh.
So
yeah.
freshly grounded coffee, that has actually been a thing for like 100 years.
Yeah.
And suddenly something changed. When we got lazy and we got the grounded coffee in supermarkets.
Yeah, we almost lost a bit of what the beauty in coffee is, which is actually smelling it. I think I was telling Mr. Pandey yesterday, like the actual or customer, like smelling the fresh roasted coffee is just like, yeah, it's like if you were smelling anything you made in the when you're cooking, like a really nice soup or some fresh bread out of the oven. Like it's just smelling is such a beautiful thing. So you kind of miss that if you have something where you're just pushing a button or it's already. I guess pre-ground it smells okay, but it could be smell better if it was freshly grounded. So yeah, those people at home invest in a little grinder or hand grinder or electric grinder, because I think that's kind of half the beauty of making coffee is smelling it, right? All right, should we taste?
We should.
Okay.
It's still a little bit hot, but we should try.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
So if we are starting, should we start with the Barracuda or should we start with this one? Let's start with this one.
Yeah.
Sweet. Not that bad.
Yeah.
But a little bit watery maybe.
Maybe a bit thin, yeah.
Yeah. That was maybe because of the big chunks still that you have got in the grinders.
Yeah. But let's.
So uneven grinds, I would say.
Yeah. And if you're doing a cupping at home, it's always good to have something to compare to, right? So if you just have the one, it's really hard to compare anything. So maybe at least one or two other cups, and then you have something to give you something, not to calibrate, but to compare to.
That's the porlex.
Yeah, that's got a little bit more intensity.
Yeah. And this is the Barracuda.
Okay. You're already hinting to me. This is going to be good, right? Yeah, that comes through more.
It's really interesting to see. It's the same coffee.
Same coffee.
It's of course not exactly the same grind size because this only has one setting.
Yeah, we can't really.
This has a lot.
Yeah, but if it did, I wonder if it probably could stand up against the, how much were these? I don't know how much these were back in the day. Maybe 30, 25 euros maybe. Whereas the Comandante, that new one's a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Yeah. But, still drinkable.
Still drinkable. Definitely. And the thing we are talking about clean equipment. I think it's a really challenge to clean this grinder because it's screwed on.
Yeah.
So it's not possible to take it apart as you can do with this one or the porlex and clean it.
Mm. Yeah, just, I don't know if I explained this one. So the coffee and the porlex goes in the top. And then it's got this little handle which does click onto the side. So you literally just put it in your backpack. You grind. And then it comes out at the bottom here. And then there's an adjustable. So the newer ones have an adjustable grind size. So I guess that's the difference is like you can really adjust and kind of fine tune how you want your coffee. So if you want it a bit stronger and maybe almost going to bitter, you'd go finer. And then if you want it coarser and a little bit more weaker.
And one thing people need to remember, if you invest in a hand grinder, please remember to clean them. That's really important. I've heard people.
You're a stickler on that.
I've heard people buying a Comandante or a Keener or an expensive hand grinder, and I said, "When was the last time you cleaned it?" Oh, never.
Never, yeah. Well, but some people think it's a myth that actually brings more flavor, but that's not.
And I think maybe if you buy an expensive grinder, I think maybe someone is a little bit afraid to unscrew it, and because you're afraid not to, if you're not able to put it back again.
Yeah.
So if you're cleaning a Comandante,
it looks quite dirty.
Yeah, it's nowadays, but we need to clean it.
You need to clean it. Yeah, you definitely
use a brush.
Yeah, but it's like if you think of it like in your kitchen, you're going to clean your pots and pans. You're going to clean your oven sheets. You're going to clean your. So it's no different with coffee stuff. So yeah, please clean.
Clean your grinder. That's important.
Yeah. I think I clean mine every couple months when you start to see it kind of.
I think I try to clean mine once a week.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're religious on that one.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, huge difference. Like if I would say this one a little bit thinner, a bit more watery. It's still got some flavor. And then you kind of go to the porlex, which I think stands up pretty good to the Comandante. This one may be a little bit more complex.
I would say a little bit sweeter, a little bit more vibrant, more balanced.
But overall, you know, I think this was what, €100 grinder? That's 700. You know, I think it's diminishing returns in terms of anything after €100. You're kind of getting, you're not getting much extra, but you're getting a really nice piece of machined metal.
I'm surprised that this is actually drinkable.
Yeah. Grandma wasn't wrong, you know.
Grandma's grinder was actually drinkable.
Yeah.
I think we are on. We have
I think that's
made
good.
a conclusion.
Yeah.
It's a difference, but it's definitely possible to use an old grinder too.
Yeah, for sure.
To grind the coffee.
Yeah.
If you brewed it, probably it would be even bigger difference.
I just like old things, so I think old things are kind of beautiful. I think, like new things with plastic buttons and, you know, there's a lot of plastic now, whereas this is wood, it's metal. That for me is more, I just appreciate that. So even though the Comandante is metal too, so what is it, steel?
That's steel.
Yeah.
1 kilo of steel.
1 kilo of steel.
1 block of steel.
Yeah. So thanks for letting us into your on your screens, and we'll see you on the next episode, which will be after World of Coffee, right?
Well, then I think we'll need to talk a little bit about what's happened on World of Coffee.
Yeah, and maybe we'll do some live streaming on that. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. But anything else you want?
Just remember to clean your grinder.
And remember, folks like us drink coffee like this. So thanks again.